Go for it.
Friggin' what up, dude? Strider Wilson, I'm the host of this podcast that's mine, gonna be called History is Dank. History is Dank with Strider Wilson. Dankness from the ground.
Frickin' what up, dude? Welcome back to another ep of History is Dank, dude. I'm your host, Strider Wilson. We got Aaron going beast mode on the sticks, dude. What's going on, Aaron, dude?
What up?
Dude, I'm freaking chilling right now, dude. I'm on the market for a new ride, dude. And let me tell you, dude, car salesmen, they're annoying guys.
Yeah.
We know this. They're nonstop. I made the mistake of going on to Edmunds trying to find out a nice price, and I came to the page, which I always don't do, where it's like, you want real-time dealer quotes? Give us your email. Did that so they'd email to me. What I didn't read, because I don't read directions. When I'm assembling IKEA furniture, I throw the directions out because I'm a man. I'll figure it out on my own because I'm a man. I have instincts. Oh, I'm building a chair? Yeah, 4 legs, then the fucking thing goes, and then the other thing goes up. I can do that. Use the little weird-ass hatchet wrench that has like it's like a little dick part and then the bigger dick part. A weird tool that only exists for IKEA furniture. I'll figure it out. Legos, just give me a fat joint and put on some freaking, some moody music, some Zeppelin, and then I'm going to freaking solve those Legos, dude. I'm going to go freeform, dude. You got a Lego of the Death Star? You don't know what's going to show up. I might do a Batmobile. I might get creative. In any case, I gave my email like a dumbass because I don't read directions. And if I would have read it, I would have been informed that meant every guy within a zip code, like I put my zip code in, also just giving away my information. It made me spread my butt at one point. It's like, face your webcam, spread your butt. Let's take a picture of that. Just going to get you a better rate. We'll get you, quote you. Just want to see if you get the right seat. Just want to see if you're going to get any leather or pleather seat or cloth. Just spread your butt. Let us see it. Let us see it. Edmunds, weird guys over there. And now I'm getting nonstop emails and phone calls. 6 a.m. A bunch of dudes named Chris. Every dude's name is Chris. Hey, Chris over here. North Hollywood. Chris over here. Wondries Toyota. Chris over here. South Bay Honda. Chris over here. Because I'm looking at Hondas and Toyotas. Practical hybrid stuff. I'm a practical guy. And I don't need anything flashy. And then they just say, come on in. Come on down. Come in. Come on, see me. Come over. These guys are horny. Come over. I'm like, no, dude, I don't want to come over, dude. Just send me the price. We really need to figure stuff out. Why can't you just, what's the VIN number? The car's not even built yet. Then why are you lying, saying you have, anyway. One guy's like, just send me a picture of yourself. Send me a picture of your upper thigh. I'll get you a good deal. Weird guys. I'll do it. If it gets me a better rate, honestly, dude, if they can get rid of document fees, I'll send a picture of some upper leg. I will. I'm not afraid of it. In any case, it's annoying. I'm borrowing my mommy's car now, which is very nice. Been freaking bumping the 90s. 90s jams, dude. There's nothing like it. It's the best. What do you think, Aaron? For your money, you going 90s or 80s?
80s.
Yeah, the 80s are fun. It's fun for a party. For a party, 80s. A little cocaine. Have a good time. Drink some Sky vodka. I feel like they were drinking that in the 80s. I've got no idea. I feel like Norwegian dudes who ski drink that. And then they're just doing blow. Listening to that song. You're my obsession. You're my...
The Human League.
Yeah, the Human League, dude. Little Thompson twins, bro. I mean, great jams. But the 90s, some of the stuff can be downers, but dude, they got some hits, bro. I was saying that Savage Garden, chicka cherry cola, fucking good ass song, dude. Anyway, dude, it's good to have some jams, and jams go along with a nice view. Maybe you go out into some nature and listen to some tunes while you go on a hike. If you're unlike me, I like to have my head on a swivel. Don't know if any guy's gonna pop out of a bush and try to gank me, dude. Don't know if a guy's gonna, maybe I go for a hike in Griffith Park and Chris is gonna follow me there and try to, quote me on a deal. Hey, come on in. Jump out of a bush. So I like to hike with, pepper spray. Always be ready. Hope for it, actually. And, But if you're a chill person, maybe you want to listen to some good ass tunes and enjoy a good view. And I think a great place to enjoy such a view would be the Great Rift Valley. Ever heard of it? That's what we're talking about today. That's what we're going to be diving into. But before we do, real quick, a crazy schedule can make it easy to fall back in your dinner time recipe. Okay? You're going to get in a rut. You're going to be behind. You're going to come home from work. You're not going to be able to relax. Keep mealtime exciting with over 40 recipes to choose from every week. So there's always something delicious to discover with HelloFresh and in a timely manner. So go to HelloFresh.com/50dank and use code 50dank for 50% off plus free shipping. That's HelloFresh.com/50dank and use code 50dank for 50% off plus free shipping. That's HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit. All right, dude. The Great Rift Valley, bro. Aaron, when I first looked this up, first of all, I thought it was just one valley. I thought it was just a valley in Africa. I thought it's where dinosaurs are. I thought it was that Land Before Time movie where they go. That's it.
Yeah. That's where they're trying to get the whole time.
That's where they're trying to get to. And it does have stuff like that, but actually a rift valley is a lowland region that forms where Earth's tectonic plates move apart or rift, not to be confused with a sick-ass bass rift like in Vanilla Ice, which is actually sampled from a song from probably the 80s. So Aaron, maybe we're both
Queen.
right.
It's Queen's Under Pressure.
Oh, it's Queen's Under Pressure. You're right.
Yeah.
It's not Bowie? Well, it's Queen and Bowie.
Queen and Bowie. Yeah.
You're right. Ding, 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 ding. That's a sick-ass little riff right there. That also might be guitar, not bass. I'm not certain.
It's bass, yeah.
Fuck yeah.
It was written by the bass player.
He also did that Queen movie, dude.
He did another one by
Every
Dust.
scene is just something dramatic, and then got an idea for a song, and then 2 minutes of them playing the song. It's hilarious, dude.
Hey, I love it.
It's a really fun. It is a fun movie. It's not really a script. It's not really like a story here. Then he just goes out at Live Aid, and you're like, sick. There's a few moments. Rami Malek did a great job. Any case, I digress. Rift valleys differ from river valleys and glacial valleys in that they are created by, like I said, tectonic activity and not the process of erosion, right? Glaciers move slowly, big fucking chunks of ice, carving land over millions of years. Rift valleys also form over a million of years, but it's beneath the Earth's surface. Okay? And the Rift Valley is huge. All right, we're going to get into it in a second. It's actually a system, a tectonic plate system here that extends from the Middle East to northern Mozambique in the south, to the north to Mozambique. So, sorry, my fucking directions were all crazy right there. In any case, it's massive. It's not just Africa here, okay? It's big. It goes over most rift valleys, and the biggest rift they shouldn't be called valleys because valleys indicates the land, but they're underwater valleys or trenches. Those are where the biggest ones are. Massive ones. There's one here in California. It's called the Salton Trough. It stretches through the state of California into Baja California, and it's created by the San Andreas Fault, which is what we have here in LA. Maybe you saw the movie San Andreas with The Rock, dude. Actually kind of sick. So that's pretty tight. We've got the rift valleys. They're everywhere, bro. You can find them in the ocean. They're indicated by subthermal vents, dude. Freaking just hot water, jacuzzi style, bubbling up from the freaking Earth's crust, dude. On land, you have these, we'll get into it a little bit more, but lakes, oftentimes volcanoes, mountains around it. Very, very fucking dank, very, very sick to take a hike, but you better have your head on a swivel because you might fall off a friggin' cliff, dude, okay? Because these are giant valleys, dude. Grand Canyon differs in that it's formed by erosion, right? That's the river that formed that over years and years and years and years, not a tectonic system. So the Great Rift Valley, dude, right? Like I mentioned, sick-ass volcanoes, hot springs, geysers, dude, frequent earthquakes, dude. And it's a system. It's not exactly, it's sort of a misnomer. Culturally, we call this the one Great Rift Valley, but really it is, like so many things, a connection. Like I remember in a few episodes back, we talked about one of the oldest waterways in use. Maybe it was like the Yangtze River, but it was in China. But it's actually a connection and a system of waterways and canals that make it like the longest flowing river system in the world. But it's not technically like it does flow as a single river, but really it's a bunch of interconnected things like this. So this is a bunch of plates coming together. It's sort of like 3 plates coming together in one area, and we'll get into exact what the plates are in a little bit. But experts think the Great Rift started forming in the, oh man, I'm going to say this wrong, Miocene era, Miocene era.
You got it right. Yeah.
Fuck yeah, Aaron, let's go, dude. Only era I'm fired up on is the Jurassic era, dude.
Sure.
It's the sickest era. Has a theme song and everything.
Which really isn't accurate either
No, I don't think it is.
for the dinosaurs that were in the movie.
And the dinosaurs
They're the
wouldn't have,
Cretaceous, I think.
they would have had feathers. They're
Maybe.
birds. They wouldn't have been sick ass looking raptors. But dude, the way the raptors look in that movie, it's just the best. Anyway, Miocene era, over 25 million years ago, major rifting action started taking place. 2 to 7 million years ago, in the Pliocene era, it's around 10,000 years ago, volcanic activity and fault movement created even more change. This is an area of constant change. Some scientists suggest that major volcanic activity in the early days created such pressure in Earth's crust that the area dropped down. So that's like, they have these, like I mentioned, there's lakes, fucking geysers, dude, sick ass geysers, basically Earth jizzing, dude, is what a geyser is. Picture that. You have lakes, bro. You've got Mount Kilimanjaro, dude. That's tectonic activity forms that. But then you also have maybe the most distinguishing feature of these, of the Rift Valley, which are these things called escarpments. Sick ass word, dude. It's like a wall like cliffs. So they're kind of, you can picture a canyon, but they go straight down. But a canyon's sort of like one long forming thing. These escarpments are like one next to the other, 3,000 feet tall on average. Like that's from the bottom of the escarpment going up to like where you'd be standing. Sort of like Dodger Stadium when you walk into some stadiums are like that. SoFi's like that. Well, like where you walk into the stadium and you're actually like already on the 3rd level. There's a level above you, and then you can drop down into it. That's kind of like, those stadiums are kind of like escarpments. It's kind of like that. Beautiful looking. Awesome. Some of them can reach 9,000 feet tall. Massive. That's taller than the Golden Gate Bridge, standing upright. You can fit the Golden Gate Bridge into one of these escarpments. Escarpment, if you're in Iceland, if you ever catch yourself in Iceland, is called a fjord, F-J-O-R-D, fjord. Difference is escarpments are formed by tectonic activity. Fjords are formed by glacial activities. Fjord, canyon. It's kind of like all these words have slight distinctions, like what's a sound? You've heard of the Puget Sound. It's basically a fucking bay, right? That has like 1 or 2 differing distinctions where it like has high coastal activity and happens to be like not fully exposed to the bigger body of water. You know, there's always these little things that some fucking dweeb would know. But here's the thing, we want to know. We don't want these dweebs to have anything on us. Because you're at a dinner party, dude, and some guy asks you what's the difference between a fjord and an escarpment, you're going to know. And there's going to be a lady that's into that. And then you're going to find yourself really connecting, planning a hike where you take the headphones out and you talk and you get to know each other. And before you know it, you're giving each other different types of J's, you know? Maybe it starts with an HJ, you know, then it goes to, you know, the almighty RJ. It's a butthole job. And then before you know it, you got to get yourself a JJ. That's a job, because you're having a kid and a family and it's beautiful. And then you're planning a trip to Africa to go see the Great Rift Valley. See how it is? Life comes full circle. And it's actually kind of fucking poetic, dude, because the Great Rift Valley is also known as, well, the cradle of civilizations in Mesopotamia, but this is basically the cradle of life here in the Great Rift Valley. We'll get into the, you know, it's ironic how we make a story of nature about humans. It's what we do. Maybe are we selfish creatures? I don't know. Sure. You know, at a certain age, and in your 20s, people are probably pretty selfish. You know, you think J's are all about you, but then you get to your 30s and you go, hey, I like to give J's too. Okay. I like to see my partner happy. Okay. Sorry about that little riff on Jay's. See what I did there? So let's get into different parts of the system here. The northern part of the system, the Jordan Rift Valley. Okay, the Jordan Rift Valley stretches from the Golan Heights near Israel's border. Remember, I learned this, bro. I thought this was one fucking valley from the land before time. Thought it was one sick ass valley. That's all I knew. Turns out this extends across oceans. This extends across continents because these are continental shelves. Beneath every continent, and especially the big ones like Africa, there's multiple tectonic plates under there. Massive ones moving around, you know, creating earthquakes and change. You know, sometimes it comes in a sudden when there's a friggin' E-quake, but most of the time it happens just slowly, like moving about, you know, inches per year. So, but over millions of years, that's how oceans are formed. You know, we'll get into that. It's friggin' sick, dude. So the Jordan Rift Valley stretches from the Golan Heights near Israel's border with Syria and Lebanon to the Dead Sea, to the Gulf of Aqaba, an inlet in the Red Sea that separates the Sinai Peninsula from the Arabian Peninsula. So if you like geography, you've probably got a boner. So then you have the Jordan Rift Valley to the south, the Red Sea Rift. Millions of years ago, the Arabian Peninsula was connected to Africa. Right, the seafloor starts spreading because these rifts are moving. The Jordan plate's moving across from this Red Sea rift, and the Indian Ocean floods in and creates this valley between the continents. Right, there could be sick ass shit down there. There could be tons of sick ass shit down there we don't even know about. Today, Africa and Asia are connected by the triangle, so it's a triangle rift. The Sinai Peninsula, right? Eventually, the Red Sea will rift apart, so it will separate Africa and Asia entirely and connect the Mediterranean and the Red Sea. That will happen one day. None of us will be here to see it, but it'd be sick if it did, if we were. South of the Red Sea lies a massive complex East African rift. This is where we're going to be spending a lot of time on this episode in a little bit. The African plate, sometimes called the Nubian plate, carries most of the continent, right? The Somali plate carries the Horn of Africa down below, that's to the south. The Western Rift, also known as the Albertine Rift, probably after a dude that found it or theorized it. We'll get into the dude that theorized this a little bit later. The Western Rift is one of the most biodiverse regions in Africa. Okay, featuring a narrow corridor of highland forests, snow-capped mountains, savannas, chains of lakes, and wetlands, dude. Beautiful area to go take a hike. Tons of sick-ass nature, dude. Tons of sick-ass lakes, dude. Dude, lakes can be formed in different ways, and you'll kind of know when there's a continental rift because if you get these chains of lakes like we have in Africa here, and if it's not rifting far enough to to touch the ocean or flood in, and then everything would be underwater, you have this, because you have a little bit of a tectonic activity creating mountains and barriers. It's crazy how all this shit just happens beneath the surface, dude. You've got Lake Superior. It rests atop one of the oldest and deepest rift valleys in the world. Funny enough, Lake Superior is that is a rift lake, but Lake Victoria is the largest freshwater lake in Africa. It's not a rift lake. It's Lake Victoria's basin formed as mountains uplifted around it. It did not sink as a result of nearby East African rift. So it's pretty gnarly, dude. You've got Lake Norton, this soda lake. It has like they call it Flamingo Lake because it has high pH levels, alkali levels. It has pink stones. You know, it's called Flamingo Lake because of that. You have the Dead Sea. It's not the world's deepest lake. The deep Jordan Rift makes it the lowest land elevation on Earth, though. The surface of the Dead Sea is about 1,407 feet below sea level. Fucking hot and salty, baby. You got this other lake, just more on sick-ass lakes. Dude, I'm fired up on these sick-ass lakes. You got this Lake Baikal. It's in a rift valley in Serbia. That's the deepest and oldest freshwater lake in the world. Fucking sick, dude. Parts of the lake are about 5,387 feet deep. That's a mile deep. They're getting deeper every single year because of tectonic activity. So very, very awesome. That's a rift lake. Also the largest volume of liquid fresh water in the world, dude. So if you're thirsty, cruise out to Serbia, bro. Cruise out there, dude. You're going to have one of these theories that you read on the internet, billionaires buying up land for the fresh water because the water's going to go away. Water's going to go away. Guess what, dude? If you're a billionaire, you got to buy land somewhere. Why not buy it by water? Maybe it's just coincidental. Maybe it's just like, hey, it's a good call to own land next to water. Why own land not next to water? People with theories online, dude. Conspiracies, dude. Annoying. Aaron, can we say it? Conspiracies are annoying.
Yeah, I can say it. That's for sure.
They annoy me, dude. Also, just lakes are the best, though, dude. Think about it, dude. If I'm a billionaire, why am I not going to want to own a freaking sick-ass land next to a lake where I can put a freaking sick-ass house with the dankest Wi-Fi, my own personal Wi-Fi, and the jet ski launch, dude, where I can just jet ski with my boys out there? You know what I'm saying, dude? Just hold on to the back of my wife while she's freaking ripping it on a jet ski, busting figure eights, and I freaking just get thrown out into Lake Baikal, dude, and fresh plunge, dude. Feel alone in that deep, deep lake until my wife cruises up and throws out a hand and says, hey, get back on, let's cruise. Of course I want that. Of course. Anyway, dude, enough on sick-ass lakes. Actually, hold on. I got to do a little bit more on lakes here because we have to talk about the Rift Valley lakes. They stretch from Ethiopia to Malawi. Maybe I'm saying that wrong. It's a country.
You had it right the first time. Malawi.
Yes, let's go. Trust my instincts.
Yeah.
Countries in Africa here. They're amazing biodiversity. They have freshwater lakes, like I mentioned, similar to Lake Baikal, as well as saltwater, aka soda lakes, like I mentioned, kind of like the Dead Sea is. That's that Norton Lake. They call it soda lakes because it's salty. It has a high alkali level. You got Lake Tanganyika. Its long shores are shared by Burundi, the Democratic Republic of Congo, Tanzania, Zambia, and is the largest of the Rift Valley lakes. That lake, Tanganyika, is the world's second deepest and second biggest by volume of fresh water in the world. Like I mentioned before, to pop quiz, what's the other one? Lake Baikal. You got it right. Good work. You're fucking listening. I love it. Okay? Which is what you're going to be doing when you show off at a dinner party and you meet your future wife by knowing these facts. So I'm fired up on these fucking lakes, dude. Now let's talk a little bit about some mountains and where the humans come into this story. But before we do that, once again, dude, I got to give a big, big shout out to freaking HelloFresh, our sponsor of this episode. And look, we're busy. School's back in session. A crazy schedule can make it easy to fall back into your dinner time recipe rut. Keep mealtime exciting with over 40 recipes to choose from every week, so there's always something delicious to discover with HelloFresh. Look, dude, me and my dank wife, we love cooking together, and some of these things are as quick as 15 minutes. I don't mind the ones that take 40 minutes. As long as I know when I'm getting it done, it helps me build my schedule. I'm not going to be sitting and, trying to figure out, measure stuff out or do everything gnarly. I mean, it's fun because, I need to add vegetable broth. Boom. Delicious. I put it right in there. It's already in the packet. Okay. Or actually, that actually comes in a container. Vegetable broth. Usually I'm making a soup. Okay. And they've got some delicious soups. When it's the fall season, I love to make a nice soup. Like I mentioned before, I love using a nice chickpea recipe packed with protein. Very delicious. Making like a chickpea curry. Oh my goodness gracious. I'm not even that big on Thai, but we did a delicious chickpea curry with like a coconut rice. Amazing. Oh, I mean, I did some Green Chef recipes a while back. I mean, HelloFresh owns Green Chef now, so it's got a wider array of meal plans to choose from. So there's something literally for everyone. I love switching between the brands. I've done it. They're both fun, both great recipes. I keep the recipes, make them again, dude. It's just a great call. And I like being surprised with new ones. I like to get a vegetarian kit sometimes and say, hey, surprise me. But guess what? If you're looking for some good meat, you got barbecue pulled pork nachos. Are you kidding me? Something to have some friends over and watch a game with. Mini pumpkin cheesecake. Yeah, it's the season. Let's go. Perfect me time treats with HelloFresh, dude. I love these yummy little add-ons that they have. And I love just surprising. See, I like to cook dinner with my wife and I like to surprise her with the yummy little add-ons later. It's just the best. So do yourself a favor. Go to HelloFresh.com/50dank and use code 50dank for 50% off plus free shipping. That's HelloFresh.com/50dank and use code 50dank for 50% off plus free shipping. That's HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit. All right, dude. Back to the Great Rift Valley, bro. Mountains, dude. snow-capped peaks, dude. The front of the Rift Valley's ridge, including epic heights. Mount Kilimanjaro, maybe you've heard of it from that song Toto, which I believe, Aaron, is from the 80s. Am I right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Firmly in the 80s.
With the waves of Africa. Bunch of teachers were in that band, I think. Mount Margarita. Sounds like margarita. Sounds like you got to get yourself a nice little bevy when you go down there. Mount Kenya. Great Rift Valley, like I mentioned, it's very fertile. It's very biodiverse. You know that you have a volcano that erupts. It brings a lot of nutrients into the soil. Of course, it takes years to recover, but you have these mountainous regions. You have tons of fresh water there. It's a great plush, dude. The word plush, lush, flush with frickin' dank ass, sick ass, vegetables, fruits, meats, everything that you need to sustain life. That's why you find dank ass mountain gorillas there. You find blue monkeys. I don't know what that is. Maybe monkeys with blue balls. You have white-necked ravens, dude. You got Columbus monkeys, dude. I don't know what those are. You got bush babies, dude. Puff adders, dude. Civets, servals, chameleons, dude. You got these sick-ass little fish called, like, chiquiquilas or something like that, dude. Very sick-ass looking fish, dude. Tons of sick-ass animals, dude. Of course you got your, the heavy hitters, dude. Your leopards, dude. Cheetahs, dude. Lions, dude. Who wins in a fight, lion or gorilla?
Oof.
One-on-one.
It's tough because they never come in contact in the wild, but
Nope.
I'm going to say gorilla.
I think so too, dude. Smarter.
Yeah.
Lion's got the claws, though, if it hits, but a gorilla can hit, too.
Yeah.
And a gorilla's fast, bro.
Yeah.
It's fast. So, now we'll get into a chapter of humans. This is called the cradle of humanity. There's a discovery of a Homo, I believe, Africanus called Lucy, which I learned about in college. It was like one of the very, very first lectures I've ever went to in college. And we learned about Lucy. That's just the name they have for the remains that were discovered there. It's a 3.2 million year old humanoid skeleton discovered in Ethiopia. And scientists think that this tectonic activity that created the East African Rift also, like I mentioned earlier, created an environment that was ideal for the proliferation of life. The continual erosion of the cliffs also contribute to dozens and dozens of discoveries. That's why it's an area where we find such, remains. There could be remains at the bottom of the Red Sea, but it was filled in by water, too tough to get to. So, there's probably more mysteries hidden out there, stuff that we'd have answers to, you know what I mean? So, but we're fortunate that we've discovered in such a well-preserved humanoid skeleton remain of one of our ancestors, Lucy. Not far away, they've got Turkana Boy, 1.5 million years old. He was unearthed in Kenya, also part of the Great Rift Valley. So this is an area where we find out the most about ourselves. You know what I'm saying? So, which is also something you do when you're hiking. You go on a walk and you put on a song like maybe a little bit of Enya, which is a 90s hit, a little Orinoco flow. Put that on. Fucking walking around, just, who am I? Why? Maybe that's too much of a question. But you can look back and you can kind of figure out how. And that's cool. And kind of the where. And with carbon dating, a little bit of the when. So you can get answers out there on a hike. The why, I think, is to give and get J's. And as simple as an answer as that. And have a sick-ass time with the crew. That's what I think, dude. Just posting up with the boys, dude. posting up with the wife, just barbecuing, dude. It's nothing better than it. So basically this place is the Shire for humanity, dude. If we're talking Lord of the Rings here, dude, this is the Shire, dude. Where fucking Gandalf cruises in, dude, finds Bilbo posting up, dude. Frodo and Samwise just freaking eating radishes or whatever the fuck they eat at that sick-ass little cookout that they're having, dude. Hobbit style, dude, just enjoying themselves, dude, playing pranks, dude, drinking ale, dude. That's what it's all about, dude. This is the freaking Shire, bro, is what this is, dude. But the thing is, kind of gets a little bit Mordor sometimes because those volcanoes erupt. And that's why people move out of there. They say there's theoretically all humans share a common direct maternal ancestor known as mitochondrial Eve. Now, Lucy is not mitochondrial Eve. I don't want to confuse that. Mitochondrial Eve is like sort of a theoretical woman who lived 200,000 years ago who had enough daughters in a continuous chain that her mitochondrial DNA survived. That's how you track it. The mitochondria in the cell is directly linked mother to daughter, and you can trace that back. And scientists have done that with like DNA testing all the way back to 200,000 years ago to this one mom who's like, you know, they call her Eve, like as in Adam and Eve. And this is who every human on earth is related to. People who are African. So we are truly all related, which is fucking sick. So there's no reason to have beef with anyone, okay? They look a little bit different from you. That's just evolution, right? That's just where you were, adapting to your environment, right? So Homo sapiens, they eventually migrate across the African continent. Maybe they say, these are estimates, about 120,000 years ago. It's only between 80 and 50,000 years ago that some common ancestors began to leave the continent and spread humans across the rest of the world. So that's to say, now why did we start leaving? It could have been because of...
you got to get out of your hometown.
So true.
You
know, look, speaking of rifts, you're a humanoid 100,000 years ago. Look, your parents just don't get you. They don't understand you. They don't understand that you are going to start a band and you want to share your riffs with the world. So you got to cruise out of that valley. And in doing so, this is why people, they theorize that we had to cross the Great Plains, had to walk for longer durations. This is how we went to bipedal. You know, these humanoid skeletons like Lucy, would walk on two for a lot of the times, but also would walk on fours at sometimes. And we ended up getting bipedal when we had to move around more, cross, deserts and plains. And, when we're exposed to more nutrients like we are on the cradle of civilization, the brains can grow, we can get smarter, we have more fuel for the whole body. It just helps us develop. That's how, we get smarter, literally the more food you eat, right? So venturing it out like the dry savanna, that's what I mentioned. We adopt this bipedal locomotion. We become ambule, right? That's where the word ambulance even comes from, movement, motion, walking. So this surge into there's basically, they theorized that there was a surge of volcanic activity, which they can study that by looking at nitrogen levels or testing soil at different levels in the earth, in the Rift Valley. And it's easier to do so, and you have access to it because you have those, what was the word that I said earlier? Escarpments, right? Not fjords. Mm-hmm. So you can see it. Great area for discovery. And it's also kind of poetic. Like I mentioned, this area where that creates life is also so dangerous to life with volcanoes and earthquakes and all that. And you got to leave the cradle, bro. Right? Aaron, you nailed it. So, this transitions, these areas of migration, you end up, just for those that are curious, you really don't end up seeing, in at least the answers that we have now, who knows, there could be more answers buried beneath the Red Sea, like I said, stuff that disappeared, you never know, that humans switch over from foraging to hunting and gathering and farming societies. That occurs between 10,000 and 5,000 BC. So, and you have honestly, one of the oldest civilizations in the world, Egypt. It's right there along the Rift Valley, the Nile River system. It's right there in Africa. So, truly everything comes from this area. So it's freaking awesome. is discovered by, and the rifts system was theorized by this guy, John. He went by Jack Walter Gregory. He was one of those British explorers, you know, part of the, you know, exploration society, those guys who would drink scotch and tell tales, you know, oh, well, I was there, and, you know, cruising around wearing linen and shit like that, dude. Those fucking sick ass, like, you know, hard hat, and he was posting up in khaki, dude, cruising around. And it was a tough area to traverse, especially back then when he was doing it. Like I mentioned, he was traversing in like 1890s. You know, they would have hostile run-in with tribes. You know, they'd get malaria, insects. It's crazy that these insects get you in these areas, but they do. But he came back, ended up, you know, sketching stuff out. And it's incredible to me, dude, you can go online and look at the maps that he was drawing and stuff. It's incredible to me that they're able to do that. These surveyors, like the way they're able to survey the land and draw a map out without like having a plane to fly over and get a bird's eye view. It's nuts. Really, really impressive. I freaking like maps, dude. I'm an older guy. I like maps. I like trains, dude. Okay. So, I'm going to be building model submarines before you know it, dude. Just posting up in Velcro shoes, getting it done, sipping hot coffees on scalding hot days, and telling kids to turn the music down. Okay? It's really going to be happening soon for me. But anyway, sick-ass area, sick-ass valley, dude. I was fired up to learn about it. I hope you guys were fired up to listen about it, because I thought it was just one area. It's not. Turns out it stretches across continents. Turned out there's tons of rift valleys, most of them underwater. Every continent has them. Some places where the plates meet, right, like fault lines, that's where the, you know, cities and everything are more susceptible to earthquakes and devastation, especially where it's not high mountainous areas, but it's like a low, like, you know, Sri Lanka or Haiti, for instance. Not much elevation from sea, but also by tectonic activity. That's, you know, you're susceptible to devastation, natural disasters in those areas. So just have your head on a swivel for that, kind of like how I have my head on a swivel when I go hiking for dudes named Chris who are going to come out and give me deals. If you're listening, oh, actually, you know what? We got a write-in here. Turns out, I didn't know this before we get out of here. Turns out that Band of Brothers is on Netflix now. That's awesome.
Oh, wow.
I know. And this guy goes, and I talk about Band of Brothers a lot. I mean, I've got the DVD box set. I watch it at least once a year. And this guy goes, what up, Strider? Griffin, dude. He goes, what up, dude? Since Band of Brothers just got added to Netflix, I started watching. After the first episode, it's hard for me to get over David Schwimmer being the drill sergeant. Does this get better with time, or does it always feel off-putting seeing Ross from Friends direct brave men of our country in this show? Shake and bake. Dude, great question. Yes. It gets much better. Bro, Day of Days, episode 2, when they freaking drop in over Normandy. Bro, don't even get me started. Flash, lightning, don't even get me started, dude. They perfectly cast David Schwimmer because he's a schmoll. He's a schmoll CO. So I don't want to give anything away if you haven't seen it, but trust me, you watch that first episode. It's when they're in training. Easy Company's in training. They literally take you through the war in the series through the lens of Easy Company. Of course, Captain, you know, actually, I won't say Dick Winters. I won't say his ranking. I don't want to give any more spoilers. But anyway, it gets better, dude. To answer your question, yeah. And honestly, the fact that Schwimmer is being a schmoll, it's good casting. And dude, it's also fun to rewatch because everyone pops up in that. Like, there's a ton of actors in that. Jimmy Fallon's in it at one point. Hilarious, dude. Oh. Yeah. But great series. Please write in more questions, comments, suggestions. Dude wrote in about, I talked about this, dude. The Exorcist 2 is coming out, which is also hilarious because it's just 2 girls get possessed now. Yeah. Interesting. But this guy wrote in, his name's Austin O'Rourke. He's like, there's a Lady Death episode based on this kid named, it was an exorcism performed in the 40s on a kid named Roland Doe. I mean, that's a name that you get possessed. I mean, come on, bro. You know you're getting possessed if that's your kid's name. Yeah. And he's like, that's going to be a dank Halloween episode. I'll tell you right now, I'm too terrified to do the research, but I should do it. You know, October is here, so I think a Halloween ep is definitely in order. Don't know if I'm going to do one that terrifying. Look, I was raised Catholic. there's some stuff I can't handle. I was talking to my dank wife. I'm like, dude, you shouldn't be allowed to show the trailer for The Exorcist. Like, it terrifies me. Now I'm not going to sleep. Okay. And I go, doesn't that scare you? She's like, no. She's like, I'm more scared of like real stuff. Like if a dude just breaks into our house. Then I was like, do you think that I could protect us? It took her a long time to answer before she goes, yeah, I think so. It's like, all right, dude. All right. So I'm just going to freaking do some more push-ups and get ready to protect. Click, clack, just get a bunch of I'm going to sleep in Under Armour pajamas, click, clack, protect this house. So just stay fired up, stay stoked, dude. Get after it. Please write me in some more questions, comments, suggestions. And, you know, take a hike. You know what I'm saying? Not in a bad way. Not, hey, take a hike. But, hey, take a hike. All right, guys. We'll catch you on the freaking next one. Stay stoked. Aaron, you're a beast. Thank you so much. Let